Sifu Raphael is the founder and host of Coaching Call, Heroes Rising, The Seer Show, and New Tip Daily. He works with individuals, groups, and businesses and helps them find clarity, purpose, and understanding of who they really are in business and personal life. Sifu Raphael has used his skills to develop a variety of multifaceted businesses in the martial arts and fitness industries. He owns and operates a 10,000 square foot martial arts and fitness facility in New York. Jose Escobar is an award-winning, nationally recognized personal development speaker, published author, and sales professional. He leads compelling, high-level communities consisting of entrepreneurs and advanced leaders through his two business models, the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy. He is also the co-host of Heroes Rising.
Jose, how are you? How's everything today?
Everything is great. Everything is great. It's been a very productive day already. I've been running since 4 a.m., very much like you, as winners do. And here we are. I'm excited for today's show. We have an amazing guest. We have, of course, Sifu Raphael, and I'm just honored to be with you guys. So let's chat.
Yeah, let's do that. Before we bring our special guest today, I would love to share what we are doing on May 12th. Let's take a look, everybody.
Absolutely.
Are you ready for an unforgettable experience that will inspire and motivate you? Look no further than Heroes Rising. This virtual event will showcase some of the speakers who will grace our stage in July. Join us May 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Heroes Rising brings together a lineup of incredible speakers and thought leaders who will share their wisdom and insights on how to become the hero of your own story. With topics ranging from personal development and leadership to entrepreneurship and social impact, this event has something for everyone who wants to make a positive difference in the world. Whether you're an aspiring leader, an entrepreneur, or simply someone who wants to be inspired and motivated, Heroes Rising is the perfect opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals and learn from some of the most influential voices in the industry. Don't miss your chance to be a part of this transformative experience. Get your tickets now and join us for Heroes Rising on May 12th.
Exceptional stuff. I got to tell you, I'm super excited about it. Jose, let me tell you about a good friend of mine and a colleague. This guy is just incredible. Clint Hatton. Clint was awarded, listen to this, in 2017, the Distinguished Leadership Award as a global influencer by iChange Nations, and is the author, check this out, of this really cool book, right? The Big, Bold, Brave. How to live courageously in a risky world. And we do live in a risky world, don't we? So Clint has trained over not 1,000, not two, but 5,000 leaders with a track record for creating energy, delivering dynamic content, and giving audiences the tools to transform their lives immediately and live the big, bold, and brave. Clint, let's bring you on, my friend. How are you doing today?
Sifu Raphael and Jose, man, I'm so pumped up to be with you guys. That was quite an introduction. I had to look around the room and see who's he talking about.
It is you, my friend. You are truly, listen, I have been blessed and thank God, and I'm going to say this with all earnestly, with incredible people who have come into my life. You being one of them, Jose the other, and everyone who's ever been in this show is truly a gift to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel the same. Yeah, thank you. And it's always an honor to be with you guys for sure. I got to say right away, you guys kind of set the tone here. You guys are getting up at 4 a.m. I did as well. I did as well today on Pacific Standard Time. I live in the Central Standard Time, but that's not the point, right? I've had a productive day too. I actually judged a group of seniors who had to put together a senior thesis as their in-year project. So I was up early this morning and helping them with that. And that was a lot of fun. So I'm with you guys, man. Today's a great day already, and it's just going to get better.
Yeah, yeah. That's how we pack a 36-hour into a 24-hour day, by the way. Right, Jose?
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear. I know you have some great stuff to share with us today. Clint, please, the stage is yours, my friend.
Yeah, well, today we, talked about what are some of the things that we could bring to the table that would bring value. And I'm really excited today to talk about one of my favorite topics. My company is called Big Bold Brave. That's my transformational development company. And I always like to say there's 3 things I believe about every human being. I'm going to save 2 of those things for maybe a later conversation. But one of those is I believe everybody was created with a creative genius. Now, I am a believer. I'm a former pastor, a pastor for 17 years. And so, for me, there is a foundation. I believe in intelligent design. I believe that God was a creative being that made us to be creative. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is not a religious thing. I really want to share with you some insight that really has the potential to impact everybody listening to this call. And so, I think one of the things I like to do is I always like to define what we're talking about. And when we start talking about being creative, what does that look like? And I think that's where we already get into the weeds and can have a little bit of a problem, because when you ask most people, well, what is creativity? They're mostly going to say something like, well, it's someone who's musical, or it's someone who is an artist, or perhaps a writer. And even though those things obviously are creative in nature and things that we value a lot as a culture and a society, creative nature goes way beyond that. And sometimes we just don't think of, just the ordinary person as being creative. I've spoken in front of a lot of large audiences. I do this in small audiences too, but I like to ask, how many of you, if I'm in a room, how many of you are creative? And more often than not, only about maybe 25% of the room raises their hand that they're creative. And what I would say is, okay, so what about the school teachers in the room? What about I have a friend who's a forensic accountant. Isn't that creative? What about parenting? Those of us who have kids, man, there are times when it's going to require some creativity to be able to parent well. So I truly believe that everybody was created to be creative. And we just don't know how to tap into that. I want to share with you something that some of you may have come across before, and probably most of you have not. And that was years ago, NASA did a study. And what they did was they actually hired Dr. George Land and Dr. Beth Jarman. And they brought them in to create a highly specialized test to measure the creative genius of the rocket scientists specifically that were working for NASA. And the reason why they did this was very simple. What they were looking to do was they were looking to try and see if they could measure the degree of creative genius within these scientists. That way they would know who to give the most difficult projects, the ones that they felt like were the most difficult problems to solve. So really cool. What ends up happening is they develop this test. It's a highly specialized test, but it's very simple in the way that it's actually given. And so with NASA, they ran this test. They were able to identify which of their scientists had the most creative genius, and it worked out really well for them. But what happened was, after they completed this with NASA, Doctors Land and Jarman decided, this is very interesting what we discovered. Maybe we could take it outside of our original intention. And they decided to take a group of 1,600 children, and they were ages 4 to 5. And so they took 1,600 children, ages 4 to 5, and they ran them through this creative genius test. Now, I want to say real quick, when we talk about creative genius, we talk about your ability to come up with creative solutions and ideas and problem solve. And so the test was so simple, they were able to do this. So here's where we're going to have some fun. Can you even guess the percentage of children ages 4 to 5 that came back as a creative genius? Now, I know we're not really set up to have an interactive call with our audience, but this may shock you. The number was 98%. So I'm going to let that sink in for just a second. 98% of 4 and 5-year-olds tested as a creative genius. Okay, that's exciting. So then they decided to continue it. They waited 5 more years. So now the kids are in grade school, retested these kids again. This is what's going to begin to shock you, although I don't think it's going to surprise you. They came back only 30% now tested as a creative genius. So they continued and they went another 5 years. And by now, you're talking roughly high school age. Even more shocking. Now only 12% tested as a creative genius. And then ultimately, about another 5 years later, give or take, some it took a little bit longer to get to, but the average age was somewhere between 25 and 31 years old, tested these same kids. Again, this is the same 1,600 kids over the course of these years, 2%. Now only 2% were creative geniuses. So I don't know what that does for you when you hear that. To me, it was this massive explosion, of aha, that we start out with this incredible capacity to be a creative genius. And then somehow, some way, those things end up becoming diluted or taken from us, or, just something we just completely forget that we even have. And so, you can ask yourself exactly how that goes about. And I think there's probably a lot of things we could take a look at. Certainly childhood trauma can be a major factor in that. I think another thing you can take a look at is our school systems. And, I'm not saying this, we probably have some educators out there in the public school systems. I'm not saying this to criticize our educational system as a whole, but I think most of us would agree that it is set up to basically test and to present information in a very specific format that is not conducive to every learning style. And so there's another factor there. And then you talk about just as you get older, to me, one of the most critical things that ends up happening is the voices, especially in the personal development space. We all love to quote Jim Rohn and say, you're the result of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. But, it's true. It's true. The things that people say about you are really critical. So if you've grown up over the course of time and all you've heard is that you're not creative, or, you don't really know how to solve problems very well, or you didn't test well, or you weren't a great student, or whatever those things were, then you begin to believe those things. And as we all probably know, the brain is a very curious thing. The brain is always looking to conserve energy. And as a matter of fact, neuroscience is saying now that they believe 95% of our brain operates a lot like the systems in our computer. Like I'm on my Mac right now. Well, there's background programs being run all the time, but there's only one screen I'm looking at right now. Well, we only are cognitive or aware of 5% of what's going on in our brain. So I say that to say, the more we've been told that we're not creative, the more we begin to believe we're not creative, your brain agrees and it chooses not to be creative. So really quickly, I'm not a neuroscience. I'm not going to get into the weeds, but I want to share something with you about the type of thinking that we're talking about. And then I want to propose to you a very quick solution to this, because here's the exciting thing about it. Even those students who tested at 2%, and I'm 58 now, so I suppose if I took the test, chances are, I may have tested really low in this score. And they've done it, by the way, with 1 million people since. So for those of you who thought 1,600 wasn't enough of a sampling, they since expanded and have run this battery of tests through over 1 million people, and the results are the same every single time. But there's basically 2 types of thinking that we do, whether you're aware of it or not. One is convergent thinking and one is divergent thinking. Now, convergent thinking is basically described as one well-defined solution to a problem. So you think about most of the tests that we took as kids going through school, whether it's multiple choice or, a Scantron test or whatever. You're asked very specific questions and you're only given certain options of what the correct answer could be. And so you're solving a very specific task with limited information, if you will. And so that's an example of convergent thinking. Divergent thinking is where all of our creativity comes from. That is where we begin to be able to learn how to create and problem solve and think outside the box, is one thing we like to say. So here's what I find amazing about it. And this is what what I love to use as proof, if you will, that you were created to be a creative genius. Do you know, even if you test at 2%, it's still in there? And I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Dr. Land, excuse me. Dr. Land actually went on and really continued these studies. And so one of the things that he began to realize is that this divergent thinking that is your creative nature is still always there. And you may or may not already know the answer to this, but it's because God created you in such a way that you can never really actually lose it. Why? Because divergent thinking is part of your imagination, and it's what you use when you dream. When you literally go to sleep at night and when you dream, you are in that divergent state. Side note, we're not going to get into dreams, but that's another reason why you really should pay close attention to your dreams and write things down. But this is exciting. This is exciting because what we know is that God-given ability to create that divergent thinking is in there. We just need to know what to do with it. And so quickly, I just want to give you a couple of quick examples on how we can begin to engage that creative nature that is already within us. And I'm going to give you some real practical stuff too. So 2 ways that you can develop your divergent thinking are things that I'm sure our audience has already heard of. Now, they may not implement it, but they've probably heard of it. One is called mind mapping. And mind mapping is an exercise that you can do to, like, for example, I did it with my book. I write out my book. I created a mind map. And for everybody listening, if you've never done this, you can Google it and just know there's a whole bunch of ways to even do a mind map. Some people like to draw circles. Some people like to use lines. Some people like to use colors. There's a lot of ways to do it. So you're not limited there. But the idea is you just continue to write out and dump down these ideas that you're coming up with without trying to structure them, without trying to solve a problem. You're literally just putting things down on paper that are coming to your imagination. That's one way. Another way is journaling. A lot of people already journal. A lot of people really understand that there's incredible benefits behind it. But what they may not know, it's because they're engaging their creative nature, their creative divergent thinking. So those are 2 really simple ways that you can begin to practice that. And I want to give you one last tool before I bounce it back to you guys. Another thing that I think is really helpful if you're going to start, especially a new journey, if this is unfamiliar to you and you're like, oh my gosh, no wonder why I'm always feeling like I'm trapped and I can't be imaginative and creative. And so these tools are wonderful. But what I've discovered is if you've never really done it before, you can sometimes sit down and very quickly get frustrated because all these different things come into your head, right? And so what I like to do, and I just call it a mind dump, before I start to do a mind map, or if I'm going to do some journaling to come up with a creative solution or idea, what I'll usually do is I'll just spend a few moments. Sometimes it's just 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes it may be, 5-10 minutes. Sometimes I'll use some background music. Now I like to make sure that it's not a tune that I'm familiar with. So I won't use songs. I'll use just instrumental only because I want to avoid any kind of a melody or any lyrics that may start popping in my head and distracting me. And so I'll just breathe in and out through my nose very gently. And then as thoughts begin to pop in my head, because if you're like me, you begin to think, oh, shoot, did I leave the iron on in the other room? And, oh, I got that meeting at 2:30. I better not forget that. And, all these things pop into your head. Don't get frustrated by that. Don't let that steal from your creative nature. What I do is I just mind dump it. I'll just write down, maybe if I'm thinking about bills, I'll write down bills. If I'm thinking about a lunch, I'll just write down lunch. And I'll just quickly dump that onto a piece of paper. And I find what happens is it just kind of clears my head. It gets rid of the clutter. And then I'm able to really engage and invoke that divergent mindset that God gave us, and creative flow begins to happen. So it's an exciting thing for you to think about. It's something that everybody can tap into, and you're going to find that you can become far more effective in what you do when you begin to intentionally tap in to your creative genius.
Wow. Powerful, powerful, powerful. You know, there's so many takeaways, and I'm telling everybody, and I know you said it's not interactive. We want our audience to interact. We want them to put comments like this. Ivy, we love you, girl. She's always here with us, helping us out, being creative, using that powerful mind of hers, right? Powerful information, a Facebook user. Just tell us who you are, it says Facebook user. So when we think about using our mind to what it was meant to be. Wow, that is powerful, my friend. This is why I say I am so gifted, because I am gifted with people like you, like Jose. There's so many takeaways when you talked about the study, 98% knew they were creative, and then it went down to 2%. And the reason, and you said it, is because people were listening to the wrong people. We're listening always to the wrong people. We need to associate with people who don't tell us what we want to hear. We need to associate with people who are going to push us and say, hey, don't do what you're doing. It's terrible. Do it this way. Or how about this? So creative ideas. As an artist myself, I mean, I love to draw. As a martial artist, you know, I like to, I play drums. I do all kinds of crazy things because we need to be creative. And I love the way of having music, you know, like if you have classical music, it's probably one of the best things that you can do. I do, before I bring on my co-host, this guy is just beyond exceptional. I do want to share 2 videos with you guys. One you saw already, but I want your mind to go there because the possibilities, this event, Jose and I are putting together, we're not charging for it because we are what? Givers. So please take a look and make sure you sign up.
Are you ready for an unforgettable experience that will inspire and motivate you? Look no further than Heroes Rising. This virtual event will showcase some of the speakers who will grace our stage in July. Join us May 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Heroes Rising brings together a lineup of incredible speakers and thought leaders who will share their wisdom and insights on how to become the hero of your own story. With topics ranging from personal development and leadership to entrepreneurship and social impact, this event has something for everyone who wants to make a positive difference in the world. Whether you're an aspiring leader, an entrepreneur, or simply someone who wants to be inspired and motivated, Heroes Rising is the perfect opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals and learn from some of the most influential voices in the industry. Don't miss your chance to be a part of this transformative experience. Get your tickets now and join us for Heroes Rising on May 12th.
I'm so excited. I got to tell you. So we have Mersada. She's in the house. What? And obviously we have Gabby in the house as well. Lita, she loves us all the way from, I believe, Canada, right?
Yep.
And if you want to attend, I'm going to put it in not only on here, but I'm also going to put it in for you to come to this event. I want everybody, listen, tell your neighbors, tell your cousins, tell your loved ones, and don't come alone. Bring this. Let me get one. It's right here. I have so many of them. Bring one of these with you and bring pen and paper because it's gonna be a powerful event. Before we go on, and I'm going to share that with you in a minute, but I want to share with you an incredible individual who, when I said, hey, Jose, would you be willing to do this thing with me? It's called Heroes Rising. He goes, tell me more. And then he said, I got to make sure that I'm going to be fully there. And this man, I'm telling you, is incredible. So Jose Escobar is an award-winning, nationally recognized personal development speaker, 7 times published author. He's been in sales for 25 years as a professional salesman. And I'm even going to say as a professional husband because he's 5 kids to a beautiful wife, Katie. And I got to tell you, what a great team they are. He leads compelling high-level communities, conversations, an entrepreneur of advanced leaders through two, not one, but two multi six-figure business models. The Entrepreneur's Bookshelf. Can you tell just by looking in his background? That's not a fake background. That's for real, people. The Connected Leaders Academy, where I'm part of, Ivy is, Gabby is. I think Clint's going to have to be part of it, right, Jose? So Jose is an exceptional presenter where he has reached audiences collectively over 30, and it's growing, 30 million, and radiates throughout his dynamic coaching programs, inspiring his international, I think we're going on 260, almost 270 entrepreneurs and executive clientele to master their personal and professional excellence. His past sales experience led him to amass over 30 million in revenue for the companies he served. Jose, I know you get up at 4 a.m. like I do. And I think you and we found a secret to becoming exceptional. And I know Clint also is. Jose, my friend, before I bring you on, I do want to share one more video. Would that be okay with everybody? I'm asking. Great.
Go for it.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name is Jose Escobar, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. We're a growing tribe, a community of entrepreneurs all over the world, globally, all across the country, high performers, titans of industry. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more clients, more money, more profit, the bottom line, and of course, grow your circle and your network like never before, this is where you want to be. Join the Connected Leaders Academy today. We are scaling massively. We want to welcome you in. Check me out on Instagram and on Facebook, the @ JAESCO25. We look forward to having you join us. Take care.
There he is, Jose. My friend, we'd love to hear from you.
All righty. Thank you so much. And I hope you're ready for the next 90 minutes. I'm going to be sharing with you. Just kidding. Just kidding. Clint's like, wait a minute. I didn't sign up for that.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
So listen, thank you so much for the intro. I appreciate you, Sifa Raphael, and Clint. It's great to meet you. Great talk, by the way. I really enjoyed value-packed nuggets and gems that you dropped for us today. And I've got to say, in full disclosure, I might seem very peaceful here in my office, surrounded by books and my little candle that's lit here, and my coffee, and just very peaceful. But behind the scenes right now, there are 2 fire trucks in front of the house. There was a fire that started downstairs, and my wife got it under control. My daughter got, my 2-year-old did something not so smart. And anyways, it's being put out. Everything seems to be fine. So there's absolute chaos on the other end. But guess what? In the midst of chaos, winners find a way to win, don't they?
Oof,
so
awesome.
That is very, very important. And this is a prime example because I am cool, calm, and collected, right? You don't see me running around and screaming and doing all kinds of things. And my wife is the same way, right? As leaders, we need to take that role on a very high level, right? And the role means that as leaders, the skippers of the boat, we have to always be in control. We have to always be ready to lead and to be composed and calm and collected when things are going rough, when things are not going as you had planned, right? And can I tell you something? That's going to be a constant thing. Welcome to being a human. Welcome to being an entrepreneur. Welcome to being a professional. Things are not always going to go your way. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today for the few minutes that I have going until about next 12 minutes or so, I want to share with you a topic that I thought about that would be of value to you guys, right? Because every other week when I'm here and when Sifa Raphael is here and our distinguished guests, we want to make sure that we bring you something that is going to really speak to you, something you can implement, something you can learn and grow from. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is the natural flow of income streams in your business. I'll say it again, the natural flow of income streams in your business. Right now, as I speak, I have two companies, the Entrepreneur's Bookshelf and the Connected Leaders Academy, with 6 income streams below it, right? And as many of you might know, and actually most of you don't know, but many of you might know, a lot has happened for me. And I'm not a 30-year veteran in business. I'm not a 20-year veteran. I'm not a 10-year veteran. I'm not even a 2-year veteran in business. I've been in business for, guess what, a whole 14 months and some change. And in this 14 months and some change period, I had a 5 to 8 year plan to bring my wife home from her career. She was a full-time teacher, and she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom homeschooler. And I had plans to leave my day job. I had a great career. I loved what I did. I was a sales director for a global martial arts company, and I had plans to leave that as well within a reasonable time period. My time period was a 5 to 8 year plan to do both of those things so that I can become a full-time entrepreneur. Well, guess what? In 14 months and some change, not only did my wife leave her career, not only did I leave my career, not only did I condense 5 to 8 years in 14 months and some change, we're now tipping the scales in the next couple of months, 2 to 3 months, to hit 7 figures in business. And the question is, how did I do it? And what is my strategy? Right? I don't have time to go into the weeds and the details of it, but what I will tell you is I'll give you something very simple. And the very simple strategy that I'm giving you is called the natural flow of income streams, right? Because the first thing I did, I'm going to break down these 6 income streams that I have and exactly what I did and why it was a natural progression that all led to what I have now, right? And now is just the very beginning. We're just, getting started. So what do I mean? The first income stream that I created in January of last year was the morning and evening routine mastery program. So back in 2019, I've been researching morning routine, evening routine. Anybody that knows me knows that that's my area of expertise. How to create maximum productivity on the bookends of your day by starting at a certain time, creating a bunch of things in that time frame. What are you doing with that time? And then what are you doing on the back end of that time? So the bookend, so you can create maximum productivity, both personally and professionally. So the first thing that I did in 2019, after I implemented that for a whole year and changed my life, I said, ooh, light bulb went off. I said, I need to start teaching other people how to do what I did. Instead of doing it in a year, how to teach them to do it in 8 weeks. So I decided to launch a program last year in January. And that program is a high ticket program. I charge $10K, full disclosure, for 8 weeks for people to walk out on the other end with their own customized morning and evening routine. That took off. So, and guess what? You know how much money that cost me to launch? How about nothing? Because I don't have a brick and mortar business. I don't have overhead. I don't have employees. I didn't hire a high level production for $20,000 to film something on a massive high level. You know what I did? I opened up my laptop. I recorded myself on Zoom. I created some PowerPoints in Google, what is this called? Google Slides. And I just created some slides of my expertise of what I knew. I filmed myself on Zoom like you see it right now, except this is a StreamYard. And I had my face in the corner there, and I had my PowerPoints, and I just recorded those things. And that didn't take me very long. It wasn't very complex, but it was great information and golden nuggets that are life-changing. So I created a program with no money doing that generated multi-6 figures in 1 year, last year, right? So I said, okay, I can do this again. So what else can I do? What is my next logical step? And the next logical step of progression was I should write a book on the subject, right? So I wrote Winning the Day, an Entrepreneur's Guide to Morning and Evening Routine Mastery. And it went, before it even launched, it sold 500 something copies on pre-sale. And now it's a bestseller. It's doing really well. And you can check it out, winningthedaybook.com. Again, winningthedaybook.com for signed personalized copies. And then I said, okay, well, since I wrote that, let me write the next thing. So I did this with L.S. Kirkpatrick. We joined forces and I wrote this 90-day battle plan. It's called The Journey to Self-Mastery. It's a 90-day planner/journal that kind of speaks to this. And then I said, well, since I'm on this writing kick, let me reach out to 6 influencers that are out there that are already have amazing platforms and already have amazing followings and communities and tribes and networks that have these titles of international bestseller and bestseller, so that I can say, you know what, let me pay to play a little bit. Let me pay them to get into their anthologies so I can now leverage their titles and their communities. So what did I do? Last year, I co-authored 6 other books as well. So instead of saying Jose Escobar is a best-selling author, I now say I am a 8-time award-winning international best-selling published author. Now, can I tell you something? That just sounds better. Right? It just sounds better. So, so that was my second step, the next logical step. So I said, okay, great. Now I have a program, a high-ticket program. I have a book, and I have many books now that I can sell. What is the next logical step in this process? I need to get on stages. I got to start speaking on what? My expertise, morning, evening routine, on systems, on discipline, on habits, success habits. These are my core areas. So I became a speaker. So I said, okay, I can just become a speaker, which I did. I didn't wait for anything. I just started, and that's the golden nugget, right? A ninja secret. Take action, massive action. Don't wait until things are perfect. Don't wait until the stars align. Just take action with where you are right now. Make a mess and clean it up later, right? So what did I do? I said, okay, I'm going to start speaking. So since January of last year, I've spoken on 4 stages every single month for 14 months and some change, including today. I just came from, like I just told you guys, a virtual conference that I was speaking at. 70% of my speaking gigs are in person, 30% are virtual. But I've been speaking consistently 4 times a month, every single month. So I said, okay, what is the next logical step here? Let me get a certification to add value to my speaking so I can actually learn the skill sets and become better, right? Because we all want to be better. So I said, in order for me to be a paid speaker and take my speaking career to the next level, I have to increase my what? Skill sets. Because the marketplace is going to pay you based on the value you can bring to it. And if I am just an okay speaker, I might be a free gig speaker forever. Or I can be a high-level paid speaker, but that requires me to keep leveling up my skill sets, right? So I started finding ways to increase, and I got John Maxwell certified in August of last year as well. And again, I continue to sharpen the axe in this space, right? I did a Sticker Shock Speaker Academy as well with Daniel Gomez, and I have him as my speaking coach, and I have many other things I'm doing to, again, keep leveling up. So as you're executing and growing and building, you are still sharpening the axe at all times. Because the minute you stop learning and growing and developing your skill sets, you will soon stop leading, and you will soon stop growing the way you need to in business and in life. So those are the 3 first things that naturally stepped into each other. So I said, okay, I have a program. I have the books. I have the speaking and the stages. Let me launch a membership, which is recurring revenue. Because the morning, evening routine mastery program is a one and done. But then all these people say, well, I love working with you, Jose. I love your expertise, and I enjoy your coaching. But what is the next step of anything I can do with you? Oh, whoops, nothing. That's it. That's the end of our journey. You can read my books, you can buy my program, and then there's nothing. So I said the next logical step is more courses and programs, which is on its way. But I said the next best thing, I can launch a membership. So I decided to launch the Connected Leaders Academy. And I said, let me just create a space where I can create a subscription-based model for entrepreneurs globally to come together for 5 reasons: to grow personally and professionally, to scale their influence, to move the needle in their business, more leads, more referrals, more endorsements, more collaborations, more clients, the bottom line, more money, to develop their skill sets, because we're all working on something. None of us have arrived. So it's a community where iron sharpens iron. And then, of course, to grow your network and your circle exponentially. So I said, if I can just create a space where all these high-level entrepreneurs that are 10 times better than me come together, and they pay me a small fee for me to over-deliver and give them 10x the value, so that it's an oversight and it's an afterthought. They don't even think about what they're paying because they're getting so much value. Guess what? It's a win for me. It's a win for them. And it adds more value to all the people that I serve. So I launched that. And in a very short period of time, since January, we're now at over 280 paid members in 15 international countries and 38 states across the US. And again, we're just getting started. That was the next logical progression, because now I can plug people in from my program into my membership. And the people in my membership, guess what? I can plug them into my program. And on both sides of the fence, everybody will buy my book. And guess what? I'm going to talk on stages. And whenever I'm speaking on a free stage, I still get paid. You know why? Because I sell my programs, my services, my books, my membership from the stage, or indirectly through setting up meetings with people at those events that end up paying me anyway. So what was the next logical step? Number 5, I said, well, I'm speaking on all these stages. I'm going to all these events. Let me start my own. Let me create my own stages. So last year I had 6. This year I have 7. Actually, yeah, 7, including Heroes Rising Apex, which I'm doing together with Sifu Raphael, July 14th to the 16th in Long Island, New York. Check out heroesrisingapex.com. You got to be there. It's going to be an amazing event. And I also have my Super Bowl / WrestleMania that I'm going to have in October 13th to the 15th. It's called the Connected Leaders Academy Global Summit. We're going to have 1,000 entrepreneurs from all over the world, all over the country, under one roof for one weekend at the Gaylord National Harbor here in Maryland, 5-star resort, 3 celebrity keynote speakers, formal banquet dinner, gala, award ceremony, live entertainment on stage, cocktail hour with networking and hors d'oeuvres on Friday night, panels on stage, breakout rooms, you name it. It's going to be an earth-shattering, game-changing weekend in October. So that's what I'm doing there in the event space. I said, let me start creating my own events. And one event led to another one, and let me get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's where we are there. So I said, now all of these things are plugging into each other, because now I can create my own stages and I can start bringing vendors and sponsors and speakers and selling my stuff. And you see how this all makes sense. It all goes together. And then what? Number 6 came. And number 6 is, what is everybody going to be wearing at all these places, at my events, at other people's events, when they're at home on their live podcasts and their things? They want to support and represent the companies and the products and the people and the services that they love. You know, people wear Nike all the time. Is Nike paying them? No, but they just love their stuff. Yeah. So I said, guess what? I'm going to start creating my merch. I'm going to start creating my swag. And sure enough, I decided to get both lines of Entrepreneur's Bookshelf, Connected Leaders Academy, and you will find journals, coffee mugs, bookmarks, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, anything you can think of that is brandable. I am now selling like hotcakes everywhere I go, no matter what. So those are the 6 income streams that happened in 14 months that led to what is happening now. That was just the next logical step. So ask yourself, in your business and what you're doing, am I maximizing the opportunities? Is there a next logical step that makes sense, that's low-hanging fruit, that can easily double, triple, quadruple your income? And I challenge you to do that. And I can almost guarantee you, a lot of you are leaving money on the table. So
without a doubt. Wow. Boom, boom, boom. Mic drops everywhere, Jose. What?
That was awesome.
Yeah. So when you think about the impact that you're making in your community, forget your community for a second. With your family, that is huge. The fact that you stepped away from a very, very good career to create your own. The fact that you took your wife and now you guys are doing something together. Beautiful. But you're not just doing it for you. You guys are doing it with a purpose. And that's why I love the fact that you and I connected, because we are doing something with a purpose. You're running so many different streams coming in that it's like all these things are like dropping money. It's like raining money, raining bills, because you've done the work. You couldn't just have done the work without the intention of what you wanted to do. So kudos to Jose. Great stuff. Definitely follow him. Here's one of the things that we always forget. We forget to thank the people in our lives that inspire us, that drive us. Listen, you may not see it, but I see a hero in everyone. because we have that capability of being a hero. Some of us are just waiting. So what do I mean by that? Take a look.
Heroes Rising Apex is the highly anticipated business event of the year. This gathering of industry leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, and visionaries promises to be a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate, and provide networking opportunities. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of innovation, strategy, and collaboration as we embark on an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and success. Join us in New York on July 14th through the 16th. Go to heroesrisingapex.com for tickets.
I got to tell you, I love watching that every time. But here's the thing. Jose spoke about something that he also invested. He paid to be in the room. He's paid to go to events. He's paid to be in the room with people who are way better than him. Why? Because those people are going to elevate him. They're going to pull him up. So this is why we implore you to come to our free event on May 12th. We put that link up there. We are going to ask you to come into New York, Long Island, in July. But guess what? The plane does not stop. The game continues all the way into October, but it doesn't stop in October. Why? Because I know Jose is going to have more events. I'm going to have more events. We're going to have events together, and we are going to keep driving you to be better. So come join us.
Absolutely. Phenomenal. Yes, join us at the Heroes Rising Apex. Thank you so much, Sifu Raphael, for the kind words, for your amazing intro. And remember, folks, the message of today is not make a lot of money, because money is a means to an end. Money is empty without a purpose, right? So it's all about impact. I'm impact driven, because the more impact you can create in the world, the more people you can help to help them achieve what they want to achieve, their dreams, their vision, their goals. Like Zig Ziglar says, the more people you help achieve what they want, you're going to get what you want. That kind of a concept I paraphrased. But the idea is, that's what life's about. That's what business is about, is serving others, helping others, impacting the world. And by default, you will make money, right? So I gave you the strategy of what I have done to develop more income streams, so you can do what? Create more impact. And that's really what it's all about. So I just wanted to be clear on that. In terms of our next speaker, I'm excited. It always brings a smile to my face, because this guy's a mover and shaker. He is making his dent in the world on very high levels in so many different ways. You know, people look at Sifu Raphael as a martial arts guy, but he is so much more than that. Let's clarify. So first of all, he's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor, which we talked about at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. Keep in mind, this is a 10,000 square foot plus facility. Amazing. He is the founder and host of 4 unique podcasts, shows which are done live every time. This is one of them. His first show is Coaching Call, which covers various types of coaching styles, trainers in sports, martial arts, fitness, business, mindset, relationship, leadership, you name it. The best of the best. Amazing show. Heroes Rising is where he brings, and we bring, 2 coaches that are featured every other week, like today. We had a second guest that had an emergency, but here we are. We are pressing forward, right? Winners find a way to win. The Seer Show is bringing the world together from New York to Queensland, Australia, every Tuesday morning at 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That's his 3rd show. And the latest show is called the New Tip Daily, and that's Monday through Friday, where he delivers tips on business, family, mindset, fitness, and health. And he features a coach every single Friday to share their tips. There is no way you can miss Sifu Raphael if you are on social media, if you are a podcast goer, a show goer. Like, you have to have Sifu Raphael on your Rolodex. This guy is just amazing and brilliant, and he brings some of the highest level people, high caliber, first class, the best of the best on to really do what? Add value to us all. So without further ado, thank you so much, Sifu Rafael. The floor is yours. We are anxious to hear from you.
Jose, I'm going to have to deliver another check to you. Thank you, my friend. So what I want to talk to you guys about discipline, right? Can you imagine going into battle without a set plan of action? What if you had a disciplined leader who knew the terrain, and that one simple bit of knowledge meant you winning that particular battle? Would it be okay with you if I shared some simple yet effective methods of becoming a disciplined leader? Please continue putting in comments in the chat. Communicate with us. This is an open forum. I got to tell you, these two gentlemen delivered great concepts, ideas, and a way to win your day. So please get a pen and paper. And if you have not done that already, what are you doing? Right? Sometimes the simplest things can have so much relevance once we look at them later on. As a disciplined leader, you need to know the battlefield, no matter the setting. You need to set clear goals. I'm going to say that again. You need to set clear goals. A disciplined leader sets clear goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That, if you put it together, spells smart. Not smells, but maybe it does smell it, but it spells smart. Why do we lead by example? A disciplined leader leads by example, displaying the behavior they expect from their team. You can't do one thing and expect them to do something different. You need to lead by that example. You need to communicate effectively every single time. A disciplined leader, I'm gonna say that word so many times during this little bit of time that we have together, because I want to drill it into you. A disciplined leader communicates effectively using clear, sometimes super clear and concise language to ensure everyone understands their expectations and goals. One of the things that anytime I communicate with someone, I ask them this simple question: do you understand what I'm saying to you? That's it. Simple.
Yeah, right.
You have to ask that. I'm asking you, did you understand everything Jose spoke about? Did you understand everything Clint spoke about? This is why we take notes. Leaders lead by example. So leaders hold people accountable. A disciplined leader, I told you I'm going to say that a lot, right? Holds people accountable for their actions. And this is it also, the results, making sure everyone is aware of their responsibilities and consequences, because guess what? If they don't know there's a consequence to their responsibilities, they may not do what is expected of them. So be consistent. That's important. A disciplined leader is extremely consistent with their approach, ensuring fairness and loyalty and equality for everyone. So continuously to improve. What does that mean? A disciplined leader, Jose spoke about it, Clint spoke about it, continuously seeks to improve themselves, their team, and their processes, looking for ways to learn and grow. Listen, every day I post workout videos. I don't have to do these at all. Why do I have to put them on social media? Because I am leading people to find their health so they can live a better life. I don't get paid for it. I have programs where people can come, just like Jose does. Programs, people can come and pay me, and I'm not cheap, but they pay me because I give them real results. When they've gone through 400 different diets, which don't work, several different types of programs, which are not working for them, and I find them exactly what works for them. That is only through my continued learning. I embrace change. You should embrace change. A disciplined leader embraces change, adapt to new challenges. Listen, Jose had 2 fire trucks in his house. I'm sure that everything's fine because guess what? His wife handled it. Katie, superhero, mother, 5 children. She knows what a disciplined leader is as a mom, as a dad. We need to have that discipline. Listen, our children don't have the discipline they need in their lives. Why? Some parents are falling short. We need to regain that parenting skills. If you don't have it, go get it. We need to find challenges and opportunities to ensure that we and our team remain successful. You need to stay focused. A disciplined leader stays focused on their goals, avoiding distractions and unnecessary tasks to achieve their objectives or whatever. Don't allow the day to run your day or other people to come and interfere to disrupt your day. Use a planner. Jose just talked about it. He wrote a book on it. Morning and evening routines. I have them, right? I've had them my whole life. The reason I wake up, listen, yesterday, I was up 45 minutes before my alarm. I don't know why I put an alarm. Yeah, so I was up at 3:12, something like that. I was going to get up at 4. I got up at 3:12. And guess what? I said, okay, I'm not going back to sleep. What can I do to be productive today? Because I know what I have planned, but I just got an extra 45 minutes. Woo! I was thrilled. So foster a positive culture for yourself and for your team and for those around you. A disciplined leader forces a positive culture everywhere, encouraging teamwork, creativity, and innovation to drive success. We need to drive success every day. Don't get me wrong, you do have your downtime. You have your time where you're just going to chill out. Jose goes, sits in his backyard. His kids are having fun. He's chilling out. But don't get me wrong, I don't think Jose is necessarily chilling out because that beautiful brain of his is doing this. It's doing something. He may be sitting down, relaxing, watching his kids play, but his kids may do one move or ask a question that will trigger something. And that is what a disciplined leader does. They invest in the development of their team. Who's their team? You are the number one person in the team. Develop you so you can help your team, helping them to grow and reach their potential. I leave you with this. Become disciplined so you can become the leader you would want to follow. Who do you want to follow? Become that person. Become disciplined enough to know when to ask for help. That's also critical. Do you think Jose could have sat there so calmly while there's a small fire going on downstairs? No. He had the help of his lovely wife who handled the situation. Some of the greatest leaders have coaches. Just look at the leaders on this panel. I know we all have coaches. If anyone of them resonates with you, do yourself a favor. Reach out to them, reach out to me. Any one of us is a great coach. Become the disciplined leader your community needs. I ask you to become the change you seek in the world. Become that person. I ask you guys to do me a huge favor. And I ask this because I want to impact your life. I want you to look at this video.
Heroes Rising Apex is the highly anticipated business event of the year. This gathering of industry leaders, entrepreneurs, authors, and visionaries promises to be a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate, and provide networking opportunities. Get ready to immerse yourself in a world of innovation, strategy, and collaboration as we embark on an unforgettable journey of learning, growth, and success. Join us in New York on July 14th through the 16th. Go to heroesrisingapex.com for tickets.
I'm inspired, man. I am inspired. What do you guys think? Jose, I'm going to unmute you. You are muted. Just hang on. I'm going to unmute you. All right, maybe you do it. You unmute yourself.
Visionary promise a game-changing experience that will inspire, educate.
What is going on? Somebody's, oh, there you go. Okay, cool.
Yourself in a world of innovation,
Can you hear me?
Strategy.
Yes, but somebody's playing that video again. I love it. Who's playing it?
No idea. No, okay. Yeah, so this was a great show today. A lot of great feedback in the comments. Thank you so much, everyone, for engaging. Thank you for proactively listening and leading into today. I know many of you took notes. I was taking copious notes from both of you, so thank you for the great wisdom that you shared today. Also, make sure you come back every other week. You know, we're here to over-deliver and truly impact your lives and ourselves too, because we're learning from each other as we do this. And just know that we're never coming to you from the pulpit, right? We're actually in it with you. We're in the trenches. We are living life. We're learning. There's no such thing as success without failure, you know. And you look at some of the most successful people, and you'll find that they're the biggest failures in the room because they have to fail in order to succeed, right? You can't succeed without failing. It's just part of the process. But when you fail, you learn, and you fail forward. That's what it's all about. So, with that being said, I have to run to another call right now. I wanted to just say those words, and I want to thank you, Sifu Raphael, for all that you do. Clint, it was an amazing time getting to meet you. I know you guys might chat for a couple more minutes, but today was a really tight day for me. But I'm excited to have been here, and thank you for all that you guys do. Continue to crush your day. Remember, one of my mentors said to me all the time, he said, it's never the weekend, right? It's the strong end, right? So go into your strong end in a very productive and powerful way, and know that leaders must keep moving forward by front. Leaders create the life that they desire, right? We don't live by default. We live by intention and by design. So do what you got to do. Keep pressing forward. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. It was a pleasure being here. And I guess I'll give it back to you, Sifu Raphael.
All right, buddy. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. And thank
you, Jose. Great stuff today.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Clint, I'm gonna talk to you for a second while Jose takes off, because he's got stuff he's got to handle. So, one of the things that I am so thrilled that to have you anytime you've been on. I had you on my show. I've had you, private conversations and so forth. You are a person who understands the value of leadership. You understand everything I spoke about, everything Jose spoke about. What's one thing that you can say you got from today's show?
Oh my gosh, you're going to do that to me. I mean,
I am.
here's my
Pick
notes.
pick one.
But I'll tell you, there's something you both said at different times that I think is incredibly powerful as leaders. And that is, leaders respond to things. They don't react. And the way they do that is by utilizing a lot of these core values and disciplines that you just talked about, and some of what Jose said as well. And so, be a lifelong learner, get a coach, stretch yourself. But if you'll implement these principles that we've been talking about today, then you're going to learn how to respond to things versus react. And those just create very different results.
Without a doubt. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Everybody, like Jose said, thank you so much for engaging with us in the chat. We are coming back. Can I tell you, I'm going to just share with everybody, we have 2 really cool people coming. Not that you're not cool, Clint. You know you are.
Guitars on my wall. How cool can you get, right?
Right. Look at that, right? So we have 2 really great speakers coming with us on May 12th. So May 12th is going to be a big, big day for us because we have 2 speakers coming on Heroes Rising. And then we're going to do, that's at 1 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock, we're going to have our free webinar. But it's not, you can't just come on. You have to get your tickets. They're absolutely free. So look in the chat, look in the replay. It is there. Go sign up, and we look forward to seeing you guys on May 12th. I'll see everybody every day because I'm posting every day. But thank you, everybody, for being here with us today. Make today an exceptional day. Thank you, Clint.
Thank you, Sifu.